This is the worst superstar. I can make a case this is the worst superstar in the history of sports.
This is how the NBA media really feel about Kawhi Leonard. Since 2019, when Kawhi Leonard signed a blockbuster deal with the Clippers, Steve Ballmer has paid the Claw $670,000 per game. Per game. Well, it seems like Ballmer got that infinite money glitch because after he built a billion-dollar arena, he extended his superstar, who only played 56% of his games, to another 3-year, $150 million contract. Oh, to be Kawhi, just sitting on the bench and still getting paid millions. Steve Ballmer might be happy to just overlook it, but we know someone who wouldn't. All right, let's be clear. Kawhi Leonard, when healthy, generational player. Truly a lock for top 75 players of all time. Who could have forgotten his insane 2019 run with the Raptors? He was an android during that run. He was an anomaly, one of the top defenders this league has ever seen. Efficient from mid-range and even the long bomb. In his prime, he can dunk over anyone if he likes to. And most importantly, he's a fun guy. Kawhi used to be loved by NBA fans. He was the hero who ended the Warriors dynasty. But fast forward to 2024, he has a target on his back. The media that loved him so much turned back on him for one reason: availability. Kawhi Leonard, the grandfather of load management. Kawhi Leonard's nagging injury issues are not new, but there's a certain level of concern about how Kawhi plays every time he comes back. He's not as explosive, not as deadly. He's deteriorating way faster than any of us can imagine. It's not like he's old. This guy is just 33 years old. Steph and KD are 36. LeBron is turning 40, and yet these three are still some of the best players in the NBA today. Media are getting furious, getting concerned, especially ESPN's respondent and one of Woj's fiercest rivals, Brian Windhorst.
I got 3 professional athletes up here. I am clearly not a professional athlete. One of them is dealing with a recovering knee injury right now. I don't think Kawhi looks very good. He had a good game on Monday. I was watching him in the building on Wednesday. He is not moving well, in my opinion. He has had a couple of okay games. His stats and his shooting particularly don't look good. I'm not a physical therapist. I didn't have a knee surgery. I can't say, well, the answer is then to play on it. I'm just telling you, when he's taking these games off and resting, I kind of get it because he doesn't look good. To me, if I were the Clippers, I'd be like...
Windy let us breathe some fresh air out here about Kawhi's unending storm of load management. And well, there might be some truth about Windhorst's claim about Kawhi. This man is just legitimately hurt. His legs are ruining him. Have you seen that one alley to Kawhi? That man refused to let go of the rim. You just know that leg's all busted up. He's sitting out games not just because he wanted to, but because he just can't keep it up anymore. He's all banged up, and all of those injuries ever since that Zaza Pachulia incident have taken its toll. He's hurt, and it's about time that we need to start some uncomfortable conversation about Kawhi. Was he really the kind of superstar Stephen A. Smith claims him to be? We all know Stephen A. Smith makes the boldest of claims. He likes to stir the pot, and that's why he's being paid millions. Did you know that he's being paid more than the average NBA salary? Yeah, he's being paid $12 million to diss superstars on national TV. And well, that surely includes Kawhi. Stephen A. Smith sure does love dropping bombs, and he dropped a huge one right here.
This is the worst superstar. I can make a case this is the worst superstar in the history of sports.
You think he's done? Ha! Think again, because once Stephen A. Smith starts, he never stops. He doubled it down.
I can make a legitimate argument that Kawhi Leonard is the worst superstar in the history of any sport. You can't have somebody like that and it's beneficial, who's gonna miss work half the time and does absolutely nothing to promote your product or your brand. He is a poster child for what not to be as a star in any sport, period. And I mean it.
And no matter if you like Stephen A. or not, you can't deny that he's spitting facts. The biggest skill a superstar can have is availability. You cannot stress that enough. LeBron invested in his body to dominate this long. But Kawhi? It's like he did not care. He's just straight up robbing this Clipper franchise. Let's be clear here, once again. If Kawhi suits up, he's a perennial player. But there's a problem. He doesn't suit up. All the times he has load managed and still can't show up when the lights are brighter. 2021, he missed the final 8 games. 2023, missed the last 3 against Phoenix. In 2024, missed 2 games again against the Mavs. All that load management for nothing. But like Wendy said, he's hurt. He can't help it. As uncomfortable as it may sound, but it's time to set aside superstar status. It's time to put him on a tier only few players can get on. He's a top 75 player when he's playing. He has the accolades, the skill, but right now, he's now on the Derrick Rose what-if level. That's right, this man was a 2-time champion, 2-time finals MVP, just like D. Rose, who was shrouded by what-ifs after that unfortunate injury and never recovered. Kawhi also has his fair share of what-ifs throughout his career. That injury caused by Zaza was the first. If he never went down, the Spurs, alongside with Tim Duncan, would have captured another title. And who knows, maybe he won't leave after that. After he signed with the Clips in 2019, they were catapulted into championship conversation. If he played and stayed healthy all those playoffs, who knows? Another trip to the final should not be too hard to believe. Real ones know what playoff Kawhi Leonard can do. But at his age, every injury can greatly diminish his performance. Considering all that, the media and fans alike think it's time to ask that one single question. The one question that would define Kawhi's legacy. Like Stephen A. Smith, there's another analyst that's always putting up controversial takes. And no, it's not Max Kellerman and his Martians pointing a death beam on Earth. It might be worse than that. Celtic legend and champion, Kendrick Perkins. Perk likes to stir up controversy, and with Kawhi Leonard, he did just that.
And I think it's about that time to have that uncomfortable, tough conversation. This is not a hot take, but when you think about his history and you think about now and everything that Legs just alluded to, 6 months and it's still problems with his knee, right? And every single season, it's a problem when it comes down to Kawhi Leonard health. He needs to sit down at the round table, not only with the Clippers organization, but his family as well. I really think Kawhi Leonard should consider retiring.
And there you have it. Kendrick Perkins has dropped the bomb, sparked yet another conversation. The extremes of the extreme. Should Kawhi Leonard retire or not? Yeah, it sounds ridiculous, especially at 33 years old. But let's be real. He's not going to be back at 100%. At this point of his career, he's always going to play with caution. But is that enough reason to call his career off? Well, Warrior legends Draymond Green and Baron Davis have a lot to say about that.
Kendrick Perkins, telling Kawhi he need to retire.
That's sick.
Retirement, obviously the man want to play.
Sick.
He play every chance he get. He go out there, he try to play, and he come back still looking like Kawhi Leonard.
Balling. Yeah.
But it not being, the man averaged 20 points, 50% from field, 40% from three last year.
That when you average 2.
And you gonna try to kick him out the league? Tell him he needs to retire?
Not when you average 2, bro.
Well, coming from 2 tenacious players, they're not wrong. When Kawhi played last year, he might not be as lethal, but he sure did things only Kawhi could do. He's still a walking bucket, crazy efficient from the mid-range, especially the 3-ball. You could say that it's unfair how Kawhi Leonard was being treated in today's NBA. But hey, he's a superstar. People expect big things from him. He's a big shot taker, a big shot maker. He once held the league in the palm of his giant hands. But if we're being honest, Kawhi's way past his prime, physically. But whenever he plays, he's still better than most stars in the NBA today. The media can say whatever they want, but the real winner here was still Kawhi, making big bucks on the bench, sitting cozy at the new Intuit Dome. Now it's your time to share your thoughts. Do you think Kawhi Leonard still has that one last push in him? Does he need to retire? Let us know your comments, then watch what Charles Barkley was totally right about with Kawhi Leonard next.